Hello, everyone, and welcome in to RedHawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks, and this is our weekly chat with head coach Chuck Martin, reviewing last week's game and looking forward to next week. Of course, last Thursday, Miami dropped a 17-0 loss to Wisconsin up at Camp Randall Stadium, and this week on the road again in Big Ten territory at Rutgers. As head coach Chuck Martin joins us, Coach. This was a tough game in a lot of ways because your defense kept you in the game. I know that the goal is to be in it in the fourth quarter with a chance to win, and you certainly got there. But the offense with 11 new starters and taking on a big defensive team in Wisconsin just couldn't get on track that day.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Obviously, positives like you talk about, our defense really played well. They did some really good things. They really played north and south aggressively in the front seven. They got on edges really good. They defeated blocks really good. They strained and got off blocks and pursued really hard. So there's a lot of positives. Obviously, you're down 3-0 at half. You're against a Big Ten team. You're feeling great. You're down 10-0 going the fourth quarter. You still, when you play those games, you're always trying to get it, like you said, to the fourth quarter. Special teams was good. We had a couple penalties that are correctable, but our new punter did great, and our coverages were great. So there's a lot of positives, especially obviously the story of the game for us was we couldn't get anything going offensively, like you said, and it wasn't like we drove and had opportunities and had missed opportunities. We just never got anything going, and we didn't, run game never got off the ground, pass game never got off the ground. We weren't efficient either. We weren't, like I said, our guys were playing hard. They wanted to win, but they were just kind of out there. It's kind of like we weren't bringing the game to Wisconsin. We were kind of on our heels the whole game, and it showed. And credit to Wisconsin's defense. They do a great job, and they were pretty good on defense a year ago. And they're big and physical, like you said, and we didn't match their physicality. We didn't match their execution. Their defense was more physical on our offense. Their defense also ran their defense better than we ran our offense. So it wasn't just the physical nature of Wisconsin, which was part of it for sure. And on some plays, we did just physically get overwhelmed. But there's other plays where we could have done things, but we didn't execute at the level we need to execute. So really tough first game offensively. Very disappointed. Like I told somebody yesterday, the fact that I'm this sick over not beating Wisconsin is probably not a bad thing because last time I went there was 59-0, and I wasn't really sick. We didn't beat them. I was just sick, But some real positives on defense and special teams, and then obviously offensively, anybody who watched the game knows that it was not a good performance.
I would imagine you take the offense, you go watch some film, see what was wrong with each player, and work on correcting those things. And like you said, they've been there and done that now. They're no longer non-starters. Right. They've been there and done that to be able to make a step in week 2. Yeah,
we have to obviously. It doesn't take a lot on either side of the ball. It's not an offense thing.
Right.
You could have 10 guys playing good on defense and one guy screw up and it's a big play. Same thing offensively. And we had multiple guys not getting the job done on almost every play. So it's owning your own stuff. It's understanding this pace and the physicality that this level of football is, and then matching that pace and physicality. And then, like I said, also executing. There's also times that we didn't get beat physically. We made mental errors, whether it be inside or outside. And it was all 11 guys. It wasn't so. Our preparation, obviously, they understand what it looks like on Saturday. Your preparation now has to be razor sharp because there's razor thin, and then you go play a Big Ten opponent, it's even more razor thin. Things happen fast, and it's going to be physical, and you got to match it. So we got a long ways to go on offense, but we have the kids, and we have good kids with ability that, as we gain our experience, we're going to get better and better.
You mentioned special teams, and I do want to mention Pierce Stainton, 8 punts on the day, and a 53.38 average as long as, a 43.38 average as long as 51. For a true freshman walking out there and booting the heck out of the ball.
Yeah, so awesome job by him, and 2 inside the 20, so those hurt his average, but were big plays for us. One was down at the 2-yard line. So, he had a great first game, and obviously you lose Bev, and we went out and got a transfer, and it wasn't his first game kicking, but his first game kicking in this venue, and then he got started at Wisconsin, and a little different. So he definitely rose to the occasion, had a great start to his Miami career.
He did indeed. As you might expect, this is a very defensive football game for the Miami RedHawks, and a lot of our highlights are going to be on the defensive side in this show. And we'll jump to the first half highlights. Miami sets the tone early on defense, led by Adam Trick.
we talked about earlier, playing north and south, defeating blocks. He gets off the block, playing north and south, and starts the game off with a huge play. And he was one of many guys, but he was the leader of being aggressive and playing north and south.
And he gets the play on second down here, getting right in the face of Billy Edwards Jr. to knock that one away. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5 as you'll get another look at this play by Trick. Great timing to bat that ball away on the pass intended on the left side. And on the very next play, 3rd down and 5, again, Adam Trick makes sure they don't get the first down.
Yeah. Good job, try to run the ball. Good game up front. Good structurally schematic. We had a game on, and Luke Trick back inside right to the ball carrier and makes a great tackle and gets us off the field.
Second Wisconsin drive starts at their 6, and the Badgers move right down the field at 2nd and 7 at the Miami 25, and a big play here from Eli Blakey.
Yeah, nice job in defense. Again, pressure on the quarterback, forcing Trick and company coming, getting pressure all day on the quarterback, and a great break by Eli. Breaking up the pass.
42-yard Nathaniel Vacos field goal. And then in the second quarter, as you see the play by Blakey, the Badgers are again threatening, and Miami's D will wind up forcing a punt deep in Miami territory.
Yeah, great job here. Great call, Coach Breeken. They're in field goal range and got a pressure on, and Trick gets home, and there's one of many guys in the backfield, and now forces them out of field goal range and into a punt situation, which again, phenomenal job by the defense. Anytime they have points, opportunity for points, you force them into punts, a great play.
And again, it'll be Adam Trick on 3rd and 20 after a penalty against the Badgers to make sure that they don't get any closer toward the end zone, and will have to punt the ball away as he gets Danny O'Neill on the rush.
Yep, great retrace, and again, got pressure, really good coverage downfield. The quarterback actually had plenty of time to throw the ball there, but Trick retraces and makes a play and gets us off the field.
3rd and 5 here late in the half, and Nasir Washington gets in the sack act.
Yeah, another good inside game, well executed by a couple different players, and Nasir is a beneficiary and comes home and finishes the deal. So awesome job up front. You see the inside stunt right there. And then Nasir comes around tight and finishes and gets the quarterback down the ground again for a huge loss.
Sure-handed tackle. Miami gets the ball back with just over a minute to go in the half and starts to move the ball. This will wind up being the longest play of the day. Pass on the short middle to Cole Weaver.
Yeah, good job. Good level 2 throw. Really nice throw by the quarterback over the top of the linebacker. Really good catch by Cole, and huge first down at this point as we're trying to go down and tie the game.
2nd and 10, Daquan Finn rushes to the left side. He'll pick up 6, and that would be as close as Miami would go, as a pass interference penalty and a sack to Daquan Finn would end the half for the RedHawks. And again, 3-0 at the half in front of 65,000 at Camp Randall Stadium, loud, noisy stadium. And, you know, it's regardless of the offensive performance where you want to be.
Yeah, no, you feel like you've gone 30 minutes against a Big Ten team, you're right in the game, and you know your defense is playing good, you know your ST's playing good. If you can get something going offense, you got a chance to go beat a Power 4 opponent, which obviously is difficult to do, but we are in great shape at halftime thanks to our defense and ST, and plan on trying to get something done on offense and get a victory.
3-0 at the half, and we'll come back and talk about the second half of the Wisconsin game in just a moment.
Water bottles piling up, Soppy? Before recycling, please empty, crush, and put the cap back on.
Make your recycling count. Rumpke.
And welcome back to Red Hawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the Red Hawks. Head coach Chuck Martin is with me here. And Coach, you're in the locker room at the half. You're down 3-0, and obviously on the offense, nothing has worked. What do you tell your team, or what are the coaches, the offensive coaches, talking about here at halftime to see what maybe can work or how to get it to work?
Yeah, we didn't play very good in the first half, so we're trying to get our kids to settle down and play with proper technique on every down, and just rely on their fundamentals, because we weren't doing that. If you watch the first half, which we had already watched on the iPads, you're like, almost every play somebody's doing something a little bit helter-skelter that you're like, okay, we're not. So we try to get everybody calmed down. Guys were very hyped up at halftime. They wanted, like, They're very frustrated, just trying to get them like, hey, let's play with technique. Let's go out there. Let's get some yardage in our run game, establish our running game, which we never did. But that was the plan. Like, come out, establish a running game. Let's get the ball moving a little bit. Let's get some rhythm on offense. So really just trying to get everybody to settle down and just do their job and not do something crazy. That there's just too much on the iPad in the first half of like, what are we doing here, guys? We know how to do this. And it was across the board. It wasn't one player, one position. It was so we were trying to get them to settle in and just execute our offense.
And that's a problem when you have 11 new starters, and some of those guys have been in that kind of situation before as far as the big game and everything. But when you're the starter out there, that puts a whole new pressure on you. And we talk all the time about sometimes players wanting to do too much, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, and again, it's we had all, when you play that poorly on offense, we did everything wrong. Like we had guys that were trying too hard. We had guys that weren't disciplined enough and were doing things that weren't what was designed. Like they were getting off the grid and trying to do. So it's whether it's discipline or trying to do too much, it's a myriad of errors by a bunch of inexperienced guys, and we were trying to get them corralled and get them calmed down just to play our game and see what would happen if we played our game, which we never really did.
3-0 again at the half, and Wisconsin won the toss at the opening coin toss, and they get the ball to start the second half at their own 25 and quickly moves into Miami territory. 1st and 10 at the Miami 17, and it is Corbin Hondrew making a big tackle.
Yeah, nice job and great pursuit by our defense on the reverse play. Number of hats there, and Hondrew finishes the deal. And I thought Hondrew and McWood played their best football games that they played, and they played a lot of good football for us, but in their senior roles, I thought they had a really nice evening for us.
It is 2nd down and 10, and Brock Rice comes up with the tackle.
Again, great job in coverage. Again, he actually had time to throw the football here. Great job in coverage, and then relentless up front. Guys keep coming, trying to throw back. We have it covered, and then Cy almost gets home, and then Brock Rice finishes the deal. So great pursuit up front.
3rd and 10 at the 17, and Cade Giacomelli gets 7. Eli Blakey keeps him shy of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, got to do a good job with read and run pass on 3rd down. Teams are going to run the ball on 3rd down, and Eli gets him down short of the sticks, thanks goodness.
Luke Fickell decides to go for it on 4th down and 3 in the red zone, and it'll be Silas Walters that will step up big on this play, Coach.
Yeah, huge stop our defense, 4th and 3. I thought if we stopped them here, we're definitely going to win this game. They try to run a little play action pass. We take away the first option, and then side covers the over route. And again, 4th down, you got to kind of force things. But Tony Coleman covered the first one. They try to run a little fake mesh route and come back out, and then they threw the over route. Cy had a tremendous football game. Him and Eli were fantastic on the back end for us, and Cy jumps the over route and makes the easy interception. So great play all around.
Miami takes over 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. This is actually 2nd and 9, and a completed pass for 11 to Deion Colsey.
Yeah, good start to drive. Again, couldn't sustain anything, but good start to drive. We got a nice pitch and catch. No one does anything too spectacular, just very accurate. And
this is probably the game changer as far as the score would be, as Miami makes a big mistake on the punt, as Tony Coleman tried to time it up with the catch, but caught the intended punt catcher early.
Yeah, again, just not a good play by us. No reason for it. We'd covered the punts. They'd fair caught. We'd punted with great hang time all day, just a little bit over aggressive right here. And instead of him fair catching on the 31, now they got the ball on the 46, and they got a much shorter field.
And they would go right down the field. Late in the 3rd, Wisconsin gets the ball at the 36, and Silas Walters probably saw this play in his sleep all weekend.
Yeah, another great play by Cy. I wish he would have pick 6'd it, which I'm sure he did too. But another great break, puts himself in position. Again, could have been a huge play, but was still an outstanding defensive play.
And a pass breakup, and on 1st and 20 from the Wisconsin 38, he's going to get another pass breakup here.
Yeah, again, perfect example is playing north and south and playing aggressively. Reading our keys, going where your keys tell you. Be aggressive, don't hesitate. The few times we did hesitate on defense, we missed tackles and they turned into big plays. But for the most part, it was a great lesson for all the defense guys of playing north and south, playing aggressively, doing your job, and great job here by Cy.
9:28 to go. Wisconsin at the Miami 37. It's 1st and 10, and again, Adam Trick gets to the quarterback.
Yeah, another good pressure up inside, And Trek does a good job of with his contain and speed rushing on the outside. So another really good job by our defense. And again, Trick ends up getting home. But again, right here you see the pressure up inside from Malcolm McCain. And Malcolm's first game, he really played, not his first game, but his first playing a lot of defense for us, not just ST. He really had a nice job for us all over.
3rd and 18, the Badgers try to go deep, and Caleb Martin, what a recovery on this play.
Yeah, really good job, good poise. We always talk about poise when the ball's in the air. You see so many times DBs flail. Caleb waited patiently, jumped up, batted the ball down. Like you said, good recovery on the post route. But really, really good football play right here and almost had an interception.
On the next Miami drive, Wisconsin would intercept a fin pass at the Miami 2. 3 plays later, they would take it in and score. The lead goes to 17-0. And the final Miami drive, the RedHawks do get some movement as Daquan finds Lionel Billups-Williams on the right side.
Yeah, good timing on the throw, good protection. Good job by Lionel running after the catch. Gets us a first down, gets us a chance to try to get back in this thing.
Another first down, and again, Lionel Billups-Williams is right there doing his best to try and pick up extra yardage.
Yeah, another good timing throw. We throw that ball in the first half and everything was off and we dusted it and actually had some good timing and get ourselves another completion.
And this is 3rd down and 3, and you get the break of a pass interference call as Deion Colsey is taken down, and that would take you down to the 38-yard line of Wisconsin, and that would be the end as Miami had, again, Wisconsin taking over and running out the clock as Miami could get no further. And, you know, you work on the things that you've got to work on, I'm sure, and get ready for the next one. And, again, Rutgers, we'll talk about them in just a moment. But, you know, I ask you all the time, how difficult is it for, you know, a portion of the team to put something behind them? And the offense, again, they were first-time starters, and now they're not. How do you get them to just, okay, we got to correct all of this, but mentally, you got to be ready for Rutgers?
Yeah, you got to move on. You can't feel sorry for yourself. Rutgers not feeling sorry for yourself. They're 1-0 trying to get to 2-0. We're 0-1 trying to get to 1-1. So. That's life. Like that's when things don't go your way, how you react to them is everything. Successful people, it bothers them deeply that you got to own it first, and it's got to hurt. But then, what do you do with that hurt? What is it? How do you project it out of you? And it's like you should have more resolve. You should have more energy, more everything, and you got to fight even harder. And you got to demand of yourself that you do better, and then start demanding of those around you. So we have great kids. They're going to be fine. We got a lot of work to do to get ready for Rutgers this week, but we're going to get better and better, and we will help them learn how to handle, you know, it's about handling adversity. Yeah. Everybody talks about such a cliche. We're great at handling adversity, and you're 9-0. You're like, okay. Yeah. We always have some adversity, but when you don't have success, it's hard. And then, you know, like I said, there's been no pointing the finger. There's been no blame, and our kids have been great. They've all owned it, everybody at their own position. Everybody knows they made mistakes. It wasn't the quarterback, the left guard, the receiver, the tight end, the Z receiver, the right. It was all of them. Like, and they all know that, and they all know the areas that, hey, in this play, if I would have done better, we would have had a chance for success here, and I've got to do better to give our team a chance for success. So,
and it helps to have a seventh-year quarterback to help lead as well, right?
And him and Kenny are the guys that have played a bunch, so they're the ones that looked the least frazzled out there. Like they kept competing and knowing like the next drive's the next drive. So, but we've got a lot to learn from that, and the good teams learn from it. The bad teams don't. Like, you got to learn from it. You got to get better, and you got to fight. And again, you got another Big Ten opponent, so we don't have any time to sit there and lick our wounds and feel sorry. We got to go. We got to go hard this week, all week, and we got to correct a lot of the errors and play cleaner football. And like I said, we're going to have a huge challenge on defense too, because they're really good on offense.
Yeah, Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, the next opponent. We'll come back and talk about them in just a moment here on RedHawk Football Weekly. Back on our final segment of RedHawk Football Weekly, Miami on the road, SHI Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey, to take on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers University. Scarlet Knights scored 34 on the Ohio Bobcats in their opening contest. They needed all of them, as the Bobcats put 17 in a row on the board to bring that to a 31-31 tie. But a Patel field goal with 11:11 left to go in the fourth gave the Scarlet Knights the victory. And Coach, I'm sure you have seen that footage. And Bobcats just wouldn't go away, just kept coming back. And this is a talented offensive team and talented defensive team that you're going to face in the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, no, they got, the difference is they got a lot of experience back on offense. They don't have a lot of experience back on defense. They have a bunch of new transfers on defense that look like they're very athletic and big and physical, but there obviously was their first game blended in, and we know how good OU is as a football team, and they got down and were out, but then they fought back and got it tied up. And very offensive game where both offenses consistently moved the ball up and down the field. There was only like OU got one possession in the fourth quarter.
Right.
They got stopped. They decided to punt. They never got the ball back. And so there was a lot of long drives on both sides of the ball. We know Coach Yano, defense, special teams, physical on offense. That's who he is. That's how he's been successful his whole career, and they're no different. Like I said, they just have a lot more experience on offense right now. They're really potent. Last year they scored a lot of points in the Big Ten a year ago, and they got a lot of their pieces back that are really, really good players, and then they're really, really physical in the trenches and really mean and nasty in the trench. Their O-line they're not nice on the football field. I'm sure they're wonderful kids off the field, but they are just what you look for, mean and nasty in the trenches, and they get after you and play the game the way you so we have a ton of respect for them. Obviously, they just beat OU, who we know how talented OU is and what quality program they have, and so I'm sure they're saying this thing week 2. They got to worry about Rutgers. They got to worry about getting better on both sides of the ball. They got to worry about their execution, and just like everybody else in the world, week 2 is trying to focus. Yes, we're focused on Rutgers and structurally trying to attack them, but we got to get better in a lot of our areas, particularly obviously on offense. But there's things on defense, special teams that you look at the film and say, hey, we got to be better in these areas. This is going to cost us. So we're excited about another challenge. We go Big Ten, rather shoot on the road. Obviously, Camp Randall was a great environment. I thought our kids were fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that frazzled them. I think we had some first game guys that were dipping their toe in the water, and they realized that's not going to work. So let's at least go try to storm the hill against another big physical Big Ten opponent. And we're excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, it should be a great game. 3:30 on Saturday at SHI Stadium. Myself and Terry Bridge will be there and have the call for you. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it, Bake.
Head coach Chuck Martin joining us. And again, 3:30 on Saturday, 2:30 is airtime on the Miami Sports Network. Until then, Steve Baker, thanks for watching, and love and honor, everyone.